Well, good afternoon, New Heart Church family. Pastor Matt with you on this Tuesday afternoon, the 13th of December, 2022. It's beginning to feel a little bit like Christmas out there. It's kind of cold and nippy and a little chilly, which is nice. No snow, no rain, no ice. I'm good for that. But I thought I'd share with you a little devotional this afternoon and try to encourage you today. There's a story told by a Nazarene pastor out in California, Olivia Metcalf. She wrote it in one of our publications not too long ago. And it's not a story about her. It's a story about her brother and his wife. They had one child already, little Eleanor. And then the Lord blessed the family with an infant son. And Eleanor, despite the fact that she was very strong personality, very precocious, she was a 2-year-old after all. We all know what those 2-year-olds are like. She was still a very loving and caring big sister to her new brother. However, there was a Sunday when things kind of got a little bit off kilter for her. The family had decided to go to a lunch after church that morning, and a couple of the teenage girls in church went with them, and Ellie was going to sit between the two teenage girls, and they were going to take the baby and put the baby's car seat into one of those restaurant high chairs and everything, so Dad went to go get the high chair, and Ellie at first was getting ready to sit, but when she saw the high chair, she started to have a fit about wanting to sit in that high chair. That was very unusual for her because most of the time they couldn't get her to sit in a high chair if they wanted to. If they were trying to make her do it, she just would throw fits and everything else. But that day, she was throwing a fit because she wanted to sit in that high chair. Don't know why. Not sure we understand it, but she made such a scene and such a fit that the parents decided, for the sake of the sanity of all the restaurant patrons, they would go ahead and let her sit there. And when she got into that high chair, there was a look on her face when she looked up at her parents and she said, "I got it. It's mine." Wow. Yeah, that's kind of the mindset of a 2-year-old. And we understand that. Mine's their favorite word. No is probably their second favorite word. But most 2-year-olds push the envelope. They want to control everything. Sadly, those words, "I've got it, it's mine," aren't restricted to 2-year-olds. They kind of rule our culture. Toddlers and a lot of people operate that way. At work, that promotion, it's mine. In the home, hey, that bedroom, we got 3 bedrooms, that one's mine. Certainly in parking lots at this time of the year, there are people who go, "That parking lot's mine, don't you pull in there." We live in a world that is dominated by this idea that what I have, I should have. What I should get. And what's mine is mine. And whatever my rights are, they trump whatever your rights are. And that got me thinking. Joseph is one of the key elements and key characters in the Christmas story. And by all rights, the "I got it, it's mine" could have been his mindset. I got to tell you, gentlemen, if you're watching this today, if we had lived back then, we probably would have had more rights than we knew what to do with. Men had all the rights, all the privileges. Women did not. Women were considered kind of property, bought and sold, given and received. And so because of that, Joseph had every right to be upset with Mary when she told him that she was expecting, that she was pregnant. He could have abused her. He could have harmed her. He had every right to be angry. He could have had her stoned to death, and no one would have blamed him. She was engaged to him. She is pregnant, and he knows he's not the father of the child. As her fiance, he knows his rights have been violated. But we read in the story that Joseph planned to take the high road. He was going to do the kind thing. He was going to divorce Mary, not publicly, but very privately, keep it quiet. What a real gentleman would do, it might be. He chose not to put her through all that hurt and shame. He was going to be kind to her. That's maturity. That's the honorable thing to do. However, we read the story and realize that that's not what happened. Even though Joseph was hurt by what Mary told him, even though he reviewed the kind of options that he might have had, Joseph never shut out the voice of God from speaking to him. If he had, he would have never paid attention to the dream that God gave him. He would have never heard the voice of God speaking through the angel, saying to him that all was well. He would not have understood that the child was not his child, it was the Son of God's child, and that the baby would be named Jesus because he had a great role to play in the salvation of mankind. So Joseph obeyed, married Mary, fathered and raised, I don't want to say fathered, but raised as father, Jesus, there in that earthly setting. He raised the Son of God. That's a pretty incredible man. That's a man of a lot of honor and integrity and courage, a man with high values and priorities. And frankly, we need more Josephs in the world. Not just the honorable Joseph that was going to put her away privately, but the Joseph that heard the voice of God in that dream and chose to obey that voice despite what other people might think, what other people would be concerned about. He was going to do what God told him he should do. We need more people like that. More dads who take time to listen, to love, to train up their children. More moms who are patient and understanding and willing to help. People everywhere who are willing to go wherever God calls them. There may be no quotes in a book somewhere that you or I have ever made. No newspapers may write about us. No interviews on TV. No awards or accolades that are given in our name. But I would like to think that, like Joseph, that doesn't matter. What is important is not what we say, but what we do. Are we walking with Jesus? Are we listening to God's voice? Are we going where he leads us? Just like we can catch a glimmer of who Joseph was and the man that Jesus grew up to be, people should be able to catch glimmers of who Jesus is because of the way we are parents, spouses, children, students, and friends to everyone. Let me encourage you today. Be a Joseph, okay? Hey, I'll be back on Thursday to bring you another video devotional. We'll have a board meeting this Wednesday night, so no Zoom prayer gathering. But we're looking forward to a great day on Sunday. I'm hoping you're going to plan to be with us and have a great day of Christmas celebration. And don't forget the things we still need for the food boxes that we'll be distributing to the local community after church is finished on Sunday. So God bless you. Have a great day. See you then.